we're going to do a little express Pilates workout today, roughly 20 minutes long, just aiming to work every little piece of your body and hopefully just get a nice boost of your energy. Only prop you'll need today are some hand weights. These are 2 kg ones. Feel free to make them heavier or lighter as you feel appropriate, or even leave them out altogether if you wish. So we will start down on your back. We're going to find your feet hips distance apart. I'm just going to shuffle a little closer to my bookshelf so I'm slightly easier to be seen. And then bring your arms straight into a little hug tree position here. We're just going to bring your arms and your legs out at the same time. So we'll inhale to open both arms and legs together, and then exhale to bring them back in. One can do this series on a foam roller if you like a little more of a challenge, or you can even just bring your feet all the way in, which will just make your balance a little bit more interesting here. This exercise often reminds me of those little Klingon koalas that you used to buy in Australian gift shops back in the day. Knees and wrists moving in the same plane at the same time. And then we're just going to start to go opposite arm, opposite leg. Challenge yourself to keep your pelvis as still as you can as you go through these movements. A little push into your supporting heel. It's just going to start to invite your glutes to support your standing leg. Let the tops of your shoulders just be calm and zen here. And then we will pop your feet back to hips distance if you move them, and we start to go for a little walk. Opposite arm and leg. Finding that little tip back from that shoulder joint. And seeing if you can just keep a nice long distance between your rib cage and your pelvis on each side. Alrighty, so from here we are going to breathe out to let your arms come up and back. Breathe in to lower. So your arms will just be sort of in your periphery and then hovering just off the floor. And get that nice sort of dipping in and out from your shoulder joints. And then we're going to keep that same movement going with your arms, but we'll just change the breath. So this time we'll inhale to come up and back, and then exhale just to come forward to a little abdominal curl. As you find that ab curl, see if you can keep your lower spine just slightly away from the floor. So we're honouring the natural curves of your spine rather than trying to flatten it down. On our next one, we'll come find that little hugger tree once again. Breathing in, we're going to breathe out, tuck your tail under, and just start to find a little roll up and then down through your spine. You're welcome to rest your hands down if they're fatiguing, otherwise having them up is just going to give you a little bit more of a lower body challenge. So whatever is working for you here. Have a little check-in that you have your toes going directly forward rather than letting them sneak out to the sides. And that we've got a little bit of a push into your big toe. And that just helps to wake up that line up through to your inner thighs, which then crosses over to your obliques and up into the back of the shoulder. Alrighty, so from here, we breathe in to bring your arms up and back. Breathe out to start to come all the way up into a modified roll up. If you are doing this on a roller, yes, this is challenging. If you wish, you can extend your legs, or just go quarter turn, so feet are all the way out. That will make life a little bit more challenging. And then on our next one we will come all the way up, and we're just going to come to stand your feet onto the floor and bring those arms back into that little hugger tree. We're going to find a little curve of your spine here. And then from here, we're just going to start to have a little lift and lower. So we are rocking on your sacrum, that rounded bit at the bottom of your spine. You can flex your feet here or have them flat. I tend to find that flexing them just helps quieten the front of my hips somewhat, but different things work for different bodies, so see what works for you. On our next one, we will stay down there, and we have a little lift and lower of those arms, seeing if you can keep your belly sinking down towards the floor. Check that you're staying soft through the front of your neck. And then we're going to take that to one arm at a time, just going for that little switch, keeping that curve of your spine. If you wish, you can start to go for a little one leg at a time, once more. So the same movements in your joints as we were doing on the floor, but yes, a little bit more challenging in this position. Alright, place your feet down, just come up for a little micro rest. Have a little lift of your heart towards the ceiling. And then we'll bring your feet all the way in. Bring yourselves back, and we go for a little twist to the right and then to the left. Seeing if you can keep your pelvis beautifully still. Hold on one side, interlace, extend a leg, and we lower, and we lift. Keeping your breath flowing in whatever way is feeling most logical for you. Lower leg, other side, I'll be turning my head away. We lower, lift. Hopefully we're starting to get a little bit of a tremble going on in those abs. Alright, come to the center. Oh, good job. That was tough. Alright, placing your weights down. So we're going to come and do a little bit of hip and glute activity. Super ubiquitous Pilates exercise, our clams. Really great way to strengthen the hips, to help with great leg alignment and just feeling good and strong through your lower body. Alrighty, so we will have a little stack of your knees. Think of your heels being in line with your sit bones. So if you were standing, it would be like you were standing with a straight spine with your legs bent. Other hand can either be on your hip or on the floor. And we're going to have, don't know if you can see, a little mouse hole under your waist. So from here, flex feet, we inhale as we exhale. We lift your top thigh bone and we lower, prizing that clamshell open. Again, see if you can find a little squeeze of your heels to allow that leg to lift and lower. That leg goes as far as it will without letting your pelvis shift. Doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be small either. It has to be wherever that is in your body. And then second variation, double clam. Underneath shin bone is coming up as well. Think of that underneath leg kicking your top leg out of the way, and then top leg kicks that bottom leg back down to the floor. If you can see yourself, have a little check that your waistband is staying still. We're going to do that twice more. From here, we're going to add a little ninja kick. Knee stays where it is. We push away with that shin and then come back down. So we have a little bit more weight now from that top leg. Pushing out and closing. You also still want to be thinking of having that nice little curve in your lower spine. Nice and calm. Last one of these. And then from here we're going to come up, and then we're going to go for a little turn of your knees in. So finding that little bit of internal or medial rotation. We don't often put our hips in this position, but they're designed to go there, so it's nice to let them do what they're meant to do. Alrighty, legs coming down. Now we're going to do a little bit of inner thigh work. So options here. If it's comfortable in your knee, you can bring your foot up so that it's standing on the floor, either up on the ball of your foot or flat. If that's not good for you, I would recommend that you get a cushion or two that you can just rest that knee on. That's also a really nice way to make sure that your pelvis stays still. You can either be up, I'm just going to stay up so that I'm in shot, or you can lie down as we were doing before. I'm going to be here. So underneath leg is going to be parallel, and we have a little hopper and lower. If you've chosen to come up to your forearm, make sure that you're not slumping. So it's a really strong lift out of your waist. Breathing out to lift, in to lower. That foot can be pointed or flexed, whatever's working best for you here. Hold that leg up at the top and go for a little pulse up. Like you are bouncing something off your foot. And then just go for a little circle. There is a teeny tiny espresso cup resting on your heel, and you can drink that when you're done. And then reverse. If espresso is not your jam, think of something else. Alright, so before we do this on the other side, we're just going to finish here with a nice little stretch. So I'm going to bring your knees back together. We will interlace your hands behind the back of your head. Follow that top elbow, and we're going to inhale just to find a nice little arm clam. And then exhale to close that back in. If you follow your elbow with your eyes, it will just start to encourage a little bit of that lovely nerve release through your neck. I'm going to let your head and neck be heavy. Heavy bowling ball head in your hands. We'll just do that 2 more times. Before we do the other side, just take a quick moment to lie onto your back, and we're just going to compare how those 2 sides of your body are feeling. So let your arms be straight out beside you, legs just dangle, close your eyes, and just have a little check-in. Closing your eyes can actually make you about 60% more aware of what's going on in your body, so it's worth doing. I'm a little longer through that side. You might be something different, and that's awesome. Alright, let's do the other side. Crazy hair alert. Alright, so clams. We lift and we lower. You may notice that on one side you have more movement in your hip. None of us is symmetrical. So it's not something to panic about, it's just something that's good to be aware of. The more awareness we have of how our body works, the more efficiently we can help it work. And then we start to find your double clam. See if you can use your exhale on the way up, inhale on the way down. Letting the exhalation help you with the most challenging part of the movement. Ninja kick. I like to do clams with flexed feet. Again, I find it's just helpful to keep the fronts of the hips quiet and more of that work through the glutes. You can sometimes see people do them with a pointed foot, which looks a little bit more pretty and zhuzhy. Have a play and see what works for you. And that can change from day to day as well. And then we go for that little Charleston. More of those. All right, setting up for our inner thighs. Foot comes to wherever it came on the first side, and we lift and lower. I don't know if you can hear that sort of howling noise in the background. Where I live, it is very windy. Unfortunately, I can't mute the wind. I really would if I could. On our next one, we hold up there and we have those little pulses. Twice more. And then we circle. That lovely little swivel from your hip socket. And then we go back the other way. Alright, lift it 1 more centimetre. Lower that knee down. Arm clap. Keep your head back in those hands and then inhaling to open your book. And then exhaling to close. You can let your hips stay quite still, so the movement is really just going to be your rib cage going for that little heel down to the floor. So to finish off, we're just going to come to your 4-point kneeling. So find your knees under your hips, hands can be slightly forward of your shoulders. We're going to find a little cat-cow here. So a lift of your tail rippling through to the crown of your head, and then tucking your tail and just pulling into that lovely angry cat shape. So just going for a few cycles through this, seeing how much of that movement you can through your spine without forcing it. Just inviting that movement into your body. And then we're just going to come to center, have a little lift of one foot, and just go for a little tail wag. Look towards your heel, and then look towards your heel. Getting that nice pivot going from side to side. On your other leg, lifting foot, wagging tail. Alrighty, take your toes under, we'll lift your hips up into a little downward facing dog. Heels can be lifted here if you wish, or you can do a few little lift and lowers. Just have a little drop of one hip from side to side, so we get a nice sense of that swiveling from your ankle joints. And then from here we will mosey your hands back towards your feet. Knees can soften slightly if you need. Just have a moment to hang here. Head can have a little shake and nod. We'll just take a nice big breath into your back. And then we will send your knees forward, tuck your tail under, and then slowly ripple all the way up. you very much everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this workout. Please, if you enjoyed this video, I invite you to subscribe, click the little bell, and please do leave a comment below. I would love to hear about the kind of workouts you'd like to do. A longer full-length workout, more of these little mini ones, any particular focus that you'd like to have, let me know. Alright, have a great day.